Off a game that didn't go our way, and one that really just about everything that could go bad did, from missed layups to fumbled balls to blown assignments. 16 games in, I was hoping that this team was mature enough we could avoid kind of emotional, flat games. But they're bound to happen, and we just weren't good enough. And give Maryland credit, they were, but obviously not the same Illinois basketball team that we've seen, and we gave up 43 points off mistakes, and that's been so unlike us. But you learn from that, you grow, and then you get ready for the next one, and that's the beauty of league play. And in this league, it's always challenging. So you get a very talented Michigan team, led by Doug, and Doug's playing home games, and so we got him at home, and he's a very, very dynamic point guard. Namari Burnett at the 2, and then they're extremely big up front at the 3, 4, and 5. The Williams kid is coming off a game where he's 5 of 5 from the 3. So this team very, very talented on the offensive side. They play with great pace. Playing a lot of ball screens with Doug. And he's got jet fuel. He's quick. He's fast. We've got to do a better job guarding him than we did Young, but. We'll bounce back. We'll hopefully be better on Thursday than we were Sunday.
It's what's been important in the last couple of days to correct some of that emotional flatness that you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, I try not to. You bring it to their attention. You ask why. I think it's getting them to understand. Okay, why did this happen? I don't know if it was me doing a poor job of getting them prepared. Maybe it was. If it was the cold weather, I don't. I don't know. We were just a little bit disconnected. We were a little bit off. We were, it goes hand in hand with missing 16 layups to just fumbling a 1-on-0 rebound that we fumble out of bounds. And some nights you have those, and we haven't missed switches all year, and we just completely didn't communicate. So I think it's just talking about those things and getting their perspective of why we felt it happened. And this group's mature enough that we can handle that. And we've got to get. That's where we've got to have great energy to play this game the right way, and we didn't have that.
As you're about to face Doug, what was there with Bowie and Tyson that wasn't there against Jameer, as you're talking about a realm of really good guards?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just want to, desire, energy, talk. We trailed Jalen Young 20 feet off screens, and we didn't do that with any of those guys. And I don't know if it's an energy, it's a connectivity. Whatever it was, we were just flat, and I don't know any other way to describe it. And it was, all that being said, it's a one-possession game with under 2 minutes to go, and we didn't make a shot. We shot 23% and missed a plethora of layups and didn't guard a soul. So we'll get that right.
What's been the response or maybe approach since Sunday, just in terms of putting that one?
Yeah, again, we talked about it. We want to understand why, so we can try to eliminate that. I don't think it's one of those things you just flush. I think you ask why, and let's try to avoid that. Let's just get back to work. We were really good yesterday in practice, and now we go on the road, and we've got to be tougher. We've got to be more connected, and we've done that all year.
You feel like Quincy's wrist is bothering him at all? Is that an issue, or
No.
is he good with that?
No, Quincy's been one of those guys that's been under the weather. You know, he's fighting with Ty and the sickness, and I know from somebody who's had it. Today's the first day I felt like a human being in a while. You know, and it's he had some other issues other than just head congestion and chest congestion, but you know, with flu-like symptoms. So, but he's got it through it. He's tough, and you know, he's back to being good.
Any update on Monty Hansberg?
Amani's working out again. He's kind of in his back to play procedures, and the stiffness and tightness is getting better. We'll see what Thursday looks like in terms of his participation, but he's starting to move in the right direction.
You had two maybe kind of different experiences on the road in the Big Ten so far this season. Do you take anything from those two games, just about maybe what
No.
you did well, or?
No, I mean, I think, you know, it's obviously both of them, in my opinion, are two of the hardest places to play in the league, and one of them was against the #1 team in the country. You know, I thought we played well in both of them. I think we've done some really good things. I think, you know, we've maybe played some of our best basketball on the road. So, you know, it'll be another challenge and against another team, and every game's pretty much got their own identity. You know, this team's got a very big front court, very similar to what we just saw in Maryland. So we've got to guard that, and you know, we'll see what it presents.
I know you mentioned Dre as one of those guys that have been under the weather. How's he feeling recently?
Yeah, he's been good. He's again, this is kind of the nasty bug that's kind of hung around and lingered and made guys not feel great. But I think that Fletch and Paul have done a great job of, you know, keeping guys hydrated and back. Guys are pushing through it. You know, there's always a certain amount of fatigue with that nonsense that you can't fight. But I think we're as close to as close to back to normal as we can be.
Not to belabor the flat point, but to have a veteran team who's maybe experienced this at any point in 4 or 5 years, does that help to kind of boost them how quickly they move on?
I hope so. I think that's one of the things we've talked about. You know, there's a lot of conversations that happen, you know, in there, and I think it's not the fact that you want to belabor a point, but we want to understand why, and I as a head coach want to understand, okay, what was different about this game? Why were we so emotionally flat? Why was it, you know, were we tired? Was it the sickness? Was it, you know, whatever, when we haven't had that all year? And I get it, there's going to be games when you don't make shots, and there's games that you're going to be let down and have not be as emotionally juiced, but we've been pretty good at handling that throughout the course of the season, and you know, this one bit us. And again, it's a long grind, and I get it. I've never been through a season where you know, the old cliche is you have a couple that are really bad, you have a couple that are really good, and somewhere in the middle, that's where you're at. And we want to try to avoid those. But I was very disappointed in our defensive effort. That's what we defend, rebound, and run. Defend, rebound, and run. Defend, rebound, and run. And when we do those things, we're really, really good. And you know, we didn't do that very well in any facet.
You mentioned Michigan's front court, but how are they different without Hunter?
Well, they're really faster, quicker. Reed is a guy who can move, and he's 265, 270 pounds. Olivier has given them an inside-outside threat at the 4 that has been. We know all about Olivier. We recruited him, and a very, very good player. Was a starter at Tennessee. You know, he's an option as a 4-man on the block. He can step out and shoot threes. And then Williams has blossomed into a terrific three-man, a guy that can really shoot it and space the floor. But so they're not as reliant on their front court as they were with Hunter. Where they went to Hunter quite a bit. They pick and choose their spots, and they're more balanced across the front line than they have been in the past. But you bring Cheddar in, and he gives them a different look as a pick and pop five who can really shoot it. So there's a lot of versatility there in that group, and they're a team that offensively has some skilled players there.
It just seems like watching Zach and Tyler are really vocally active during the course of the game. Just a couple months into this, and then being able to step into that role. What have your impressions been of what they had you guys on game day?
Great. There's tremendous consistency with what we're doing on those sides of the ball. And again, Zach is focusing on the defensive side of things, the coverages, the so on and so forth. Tyler's handling a lot of the offensive stuff. And again, until the other game, until the Maryland game, I mean, we'd gone from, I think, 71-5 on the offensive side in terms of OER and national rank. We slipped, I think, with a wonderful second half performance to 10, and then we've been in the top 20 throughout defensively as well. And those guys have put analytics along with simple fundamental things that we do and just maximized it. And we've doubled down, and we stay very consistent, and there's one consistent voice. That's one of the great challenges we had with, and every assistant coach has a scout, but it's that consistent voice when those guys are gone recruiting, and this has helped keep that, and our players know where to go, and they know who to talk to about certain things, and that has really been what I think is a really strong facet of our program right now is our connectivity from players to coaches and offense to defense.
A little off topic, but your 2024 signing class, those three kids are putting together really good senior years. You've been tracking those. What do you think about the years they're having?
Every game. Like I said, I think that Merez is having, and is part of a very successful team that is having a great year. And we know he's drawn. Night I went, he was drawing triple teams, and Jason has blossomed into just the terrific all-around player we thought he is, and he's scoring points at a pretty good clip. I thought all along Jace was one of the most underrated players in the country, and maybe one of the biggest steals. He's just been phenomenal. He's an elite shooter. He's got great body size and extremely well coached. And so I'm very, very excited about that group of guys and the senior seasons that they deserve to have. They've all worked very, very hard, and wish continued success as they head into postseason play here coming up pretty shortly.
Tyler, it seems like during games he's pretty vocal and giving out some play calls and whatnot. How much trust do you have in him to do that, and how much control does he have over
a lot? Both those guys do, and again, it's trying to be a very consistent voice where it's been. It's in a lot of ways it's no different than what we had. Kind of COVID, we started. We had offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators where we had guys. And that made it really tough on recruiting because everybody had every scout. And now me and those guys have every scout. These guys have their single game scouts and can continue to recruit. So I'm the biggest fan of the NCAA's allowing these two things to happen, but they've both been with me for a long time, and they obviously know what we like and what works. I have tremendous respect for their intelligence. And both of them work extremely hard at doing it. And if I didn't, I wouldn't allow them to have that kind of say. And there's a lot of times they get the no's, and in a game the other day, I got upset with Zach on something, and you let them know that. But I have tremendous trust in what those guys do, because they work extremely hard, and their voice is something that our players listen to. Thank you.